Another intercoms. See who we get this time. Well, that's as good as it gets. Let's see. Hello? Hey. Hey, how are you? Good, good. This is comms 514 reporting for intercoms. How's it going over there? Yeah, yeah. What broke for you today?
I had to deal with the interflux.
You had to deal with the interflux? That's a
Yeah.
tough one.
You would think that they would make those things that would they would actually work, but no. Daily, I have to check the interflux.
I always get 3, 2, 1 coolant stuck in the interflux, and then I have to drain it and refill it. It sucks.
Man, how does it get stuck in there? Like, where's it fueling from?
I think it's either the conductor coils that are overflowing and backing up into it, or I'm just not filling it correctly. I don't know. I got to figure that
Have you
out.
tried a flush? A flush.
I mean, I'm gonna have to flush it. I'm gonna have to flush it to really see what's happening.
Nah. So, hi.
Hi, yeah, hi. Well, what's your name? This is the first time we talk. What's your name?
Call me Cass. My full name is Cassiopeia, but call me Cass. You?
I'm Vinny. I'm just Vinny.
Oh, just Vinny.
Just Vinny.
Sounds like one of those Earth vaudeville shows. Just Vinny.
Oh, that's real old fashioned.
Nah. Yeah. Do you ever watch those old comms?
No. The oldest thing I watch are from Colony 17. Remember those old broadcasts with the 3 kids who do somersaults?
So you're a cartoon kind of guy.
Yeah. I love it.
Fair enough. I'm a little bit more into the classics myself.
Okay. What do you recommend? I mean, I'm stuck here. I've got a lot to watch.
Oh, wow. What to recommend? Oh, there's this guy, and he just does this whole act on his own, right? And it's silent.
Really?
Like
Silent?
Not silent. And he's called Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin.
Really funny. Like, you wouldn't think someone.
I'll write this down here.
Silence. Really funny.
And was he like a real Chaplin?
Nah. He was like, someone that was living on the street, but trying to be dignified, a cane and a hat and everything.
Okay.
But,
I mean, yeah, that sounds dignified.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Those old symbols of dignity.
Charlie Chaplin. All right.
But just funny.
I love funny. I like funny.
And really physical. So that's why I thought of it for you, because like when you were talking about the cartoon thing.
Yeah.
You might like this guy.
All right. I'll check it out. Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, that's a good one. How long have you been on your station?
Halfway point.
No way.
Yep. Halfway point today. 1.5 years.
Hey, congratulations. You made it.
I made it. So I hope you don't mind, but I got a little sorry and brandy.
Oh, nice. Jealous. I'm still on recycled urine here.
Oi!
The liquidator is broken down, so I'm on emergency water backups.
How long you been out?
It's only been 2 months. I'm just getting started. I'm still figuring out, like, all of the I went through all the sims and practiced on all the repairs that you can do here, but, once you're out here, nothing's in the right place and nothing's in as good condition as it is in the simulator.
No, 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 no. The simulator only simulates the perfect world that they assume is happening out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't know the truth of it.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
Mm. Have you dealt with any biologicals?
No. You? You?
Yeah. Wait till you get the yellow fungus.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Where is that in the under chassis where the section, meet because there's, like, a humidity and
Yep. And that might be what's getting into your coils.
oh, gross. Okay, well, first thing tomorrow, I'm doing a full flush, a full flush. I'm flushing everything. I'm flushing the toilets twice if I have to. I'm gonna flush my whole sleeping quarters.
And, have a look at the replicator because you don't have to be dealing with the water.
I mean, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. I can't just live off water for another 2.8 years or whatever it is left.
Why'd you decide to come out?
It was the look, it's a 3-year contract. The pay is good.
Hey,
When I
really?
get back, I'll have enough set up, and, I've got 2 kids back home.
Oh,
They need someone to pay for, food, crackers. I don't know what they eat now. I've been gone for 2 months. Maybe they're just eating young yellow fungus that's growing.
I don't think they would have changed that much in 2 months.
I know. I don't get to talk to them that often. That's the problem.
Yeah, you miss them, don't you?
Yeah. When you're here, it's only been 2 months, so I don't know how a year and a half goes, but after 2 months, it's quiet. It's quiet. I'm okay not talking to people, but it's quiet not talking like with a person right in front of you. It's not the same.
Have you started having your equipment talk back?
No, have you?
I'm not insane. Just stick with me. You go through these phases, right? So at first you think, hey, silence, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it.
And then silence becomes so loud, right? It's just overwhelmingly loud. And then you find yourself, you're going, oh, I'm talking to myself. And you've always been talking to yourself, like you're talking in your brain, or sometimes you say things out loud. But then you realize that you're starting to animate objects talking back to you.
Uh,
So you
what?
go, well, hey, transactor number 7, you don't seem to be well today. No, I'm not. And then you realize you're doing that.
Uh,
Um,
it's like talking to plants. It's like talking to your garden to make it grow.
yeah,
I get that. I get that. I can see that happening. Maybe, I mean, maybe this will help me. Because yeah, being cooped up in here. I mean, the first month was great because now you have all this time. Suddenly you have all of this time. The like things that you
yeah.
want to do when you have all this time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna exercise while I brush my teeth 5 times a day and do all these things. But the reality is that you don't always do. The downtime becomes most of your time
Wow. And then you start feeling guilty for it.
because you're not being productive.
Yep. And it's weird that we think suddenly we have to be more productive than what we were. That suddenly you have to learn 7 languages,
Yeah.
become the master of qigong, and you're going to read that pile of books that have been sitting there for 3 years. And you think, okay, there's a balance between creating a way to enjoy time,
Hmm.
to take the gift of time and make it special versus you have to fill time, every single bit of time, with something. Because if you're not living your best self, being your best life, doing your best everything, you've wasted the time.
Hmm.
But truth is, sometimes sitting still is a good use of time.
I like sitting still. Sometimes, and part of what I like about the job is just sitting still and enjoying that silence. Like,
Mm,
silence can be restorative. Silence can be healing,
mm,
if you take that time to appreciate the silence. But yeah, but like there's a pressure to be like, oh, you look back on your day, like, oh, I wasted another day. That's another day I'm not gonna get back. And I had all this time, and you set these expectations for yourself, right? You set these expectations for yourself, and then you
yeah.
don't live up to them because we never live up to our own expectations, and then we're disappointed at the end of the day.
Well, also, is it realistic? Like, I've been out here a year and a half,
Yeah.
and these intercoms, the forced meetings of people in the space. I mean, it's weird because it's like speed dating or blind dating. You have to meet this person and chat,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes, like chatting with you, this is nice.
Yeah. This is nice. This is a good
Yeah,
one.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this. But some, oy. uh, yeah, and I've seen people just totally break down,
Really?
and it's not because of the job, and it's not even because of 3 years being alone. It's because of this perception of who they're supposed to be now.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, it's like, it's okay to be bored. you know, I
Yeah, it
mean,
is okay to be bored. It is okay to be bored. I guess people don't view the virtue of stillness, and they always feel like you have to be occupied, and so being bored is a sign of like, oh, only boring people are bored. How many times have I heard that growing up?
yeah, well, I don't know. This this is my year and a half point, but it's also my third contract.
What?
Yeah,
Really? You go back? I thought I'd just do one and done.
no, third time.
Do you like it now? Do you prefer it to living in a colony, or do you miss other people?
Sometimes I do. Yeah, of course. I miss my kid. You
You have a
know.
kid too.
Yeah, yeah, she's great. But she's growing up, finding her own way.
Okay.
She's claiming her own independence, and that's a great thing.
No kidding.
But I don't know. I guess for me, constant noise, constant motion, constant talk with no value,
Hmm.
that's worse than being alone. You know, the pressure to always do
To be on.
all the time.
I
That to
hate
me,
being on. I hate it.
yeah,
I hate it. I hate being on.
yeah, that to me feels way more foreign, way more false, way more alien than sitting in silence.
Hmm.
You know, now that doesn't mean that sometimes I don't look around the station and feel the coldness of the metal. Ooh, metaphor. But it is a different silence out in space. Like it's a
Yeah,
depth silence.
because there's no one. There's no birds, no wind. There's just the hum of the machines.
Yeah.
It's like a white noise like living inside a white noise generator.
Yeah. But it's interesting in, kind of busy world, they create white noise to help people sleep.
Yeah, to drown out the world. You
See
gotta
it as
drown out the world so you can have that peace. Whereas
exactly.
here, there's nothing to drown out. It's just it is.
Yeah.
Well, how old was your kid when you left?
18.
Oh, okay, so they were already like they're pretty
Hmm.
much a grown up.
Hmm. Um, she actually said to me, it was weird. She went, because I said, do you mind that I'm leaving? Like, you've just turned 18. Do you mind? And she went, no, it's the greatest present you could give me. Like, what? And she said, look, I'm 18. I need to learn to start doing this on my own. And if you're here, it's easy to go back home.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe it's going to be a little tougher, but 3 years invested in that, could help. And yeah, she's just really turned into an amazing lady, woman, person, being.
That's awesome. What does she do?
Yeah, she's a teacher.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, yeah, biochemistry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's smart.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
My dad was a teacher.
In what?
Car repair. He ran a mechanics, like a shop, and then he would teach people who would come and repair, velocirators, all sorts of hover pads, all sorts of stuff.
Huh.
Teaching is great. And now your story made me think of my dad because he like, when I moved out,
Mm,
that like, we didn't get along when I lived with him, and then when I turned 17, I moved out, and then we
yeah.
started getting along.
Huh. A little bit of space
A
makes a
little bit
difference.
of space, sometimes that's all it takes.
Mm.
Well, now I've got a lot of space, like, the nearest I think the nearest comms is something like, 200 light years or something. I didn't even look it up. I don't wanna think about it too much.
It has a weird concept, isn't it, when you think of you're just a dot
Yeah.
in, in the middle of a vast space.
I mean, I was put in the cryopod, went to sleep, I woke up shivering on comms 514,
Ooh.
and here I am. Like, for me, it was like a blink, it was like a night's sleep, but I
Mm.
know I traveled for a very long time, and now I'm here for 3 years, and there's nowhere like, if something goes wrong, you have to get in the life pod, right? And you just kind of float there until hopefully someone comes by and picks you up. So, we are it's far, it's as far as you can get.
When you came out of the cryopod just before the person before you at the station got in theirs and left,
Yeah,
what did they say to you? Do you remember their last words?
yeah.
What?
I left a pizza in the freezer there. That was their words of wisdom. I was expecting more. I mean, they gave me the tour and it told me what's what, but that was that before they got into their cryopod. That was just like, "I left a pizza for you in the freezer."
That's a good one.
I don't
That is.
know how I suspect, and here's the thing, here's what I suspect. I suspect the person before him left him the same pizza. I
Uh,
think this is like an heirloom pizza that's been passed from generation to generation. I'm not
yeah.
eating it, and I'm definitely gonna leave it to the next person.
The com bases that have been, I don't know, have had this kind of generation of mechanics who have looked after it, who've found their way, let's say. There is a lineage in the last words.
Hmm.
So the pizza thing, that's probably the lineage of that one.
I'm gonna keep it going. It's a tradition at this point. What were your last words? What were the person before you?
The ones that was said to me.
Yeah.
So the first contract, the guy really freaked me out because I came to, like you said, you're shivering, your body is completely in chaos.
Yeah.
Um, you come to find we did the tour of the station, great, got all the manuals, all that kind of stuff. And just before he left, he looked at me and went, "Don't let it get to you,"
Don't let it get to you.
and then left.
Oof. Those are hard words to leave someone with.
Yeah, and it gnawed on me like it just,
Ugh.
"Don't let what get to me? Get to me how?"
Yeah.
And it just, his unhappiness, his journey, whatever that was, he started me off on this place of absolute fear.
Oh God, that's awful.
And it took a while to get my head around that. And when you don't have someone to talk to, something like that really chews at you. And even with these meetings, it wasn't something I could just tell a stranger. I couldn't say, "Hey, I'm 1 week into the contract and I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I'm 2 weeks into the contract and all I can hear is my own heart. And it sounds like it's beating so loudly in my chest that it's echoing off of the sound of the walls." I couldn't tell people that when I went to bed at night, the anxiety that I felt like my body was vibrating. And there was times where I would just scream.
Scream.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's no one here to disrupt.
But I think the scream was like release. But also, as it echoed around the building, the echo coming back sounded like someone else was there.
Oof.
Yeah.
Was that comforting to hear yourself or just disturbing?
Well, there was a comfort in hearing sound, but it was disturbing that it was me. All right. I ended up having one of these comms um, with this great woman, Zizi,
Hmm.
and oh, she was way out there. She was
Really? Well, how was that?
she was out in the meridian,
That's far.
and we chatted. She just had such life and energy.
Hmm.
And she was just loving her time. She wasn't pressuring herself to make time everything. She wasn't forcing herself to suddenly be this person she wasn't beforehand. She was just loving the opportunity of something different.
Hmm.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel right now. I'm still, I guess I'm in the honeymoon phase. I'm excited. I wake up in the morning and I'm excited to be like, all right, what's gonna happen? What's the new challenge? What can I fix today? Hopefully there's nothing to fix, and there always is, but it's still kind of exciting. It hasn't yeah, the solitude hasn't hit me, but I can kinda I can see how it's gonna, like, sneak up on me and come and get me. Like, it's still early days, but I can still feel like I'm gonna wanna see someone, like, face to face at some point, right? And I'm gonna wanna be next to someone at some point, like, you hear all these messages, we have these intercoms, and they help, but it's a screen. We're talking to screens.
That's true.
I mean, I miss people. I like people. I like people. It's weird. It's weird for someone in this job to say that they like people. Usually, the profile of someone who takes one of these comms jobs is someone who doesn't like people. But I like people. I like talking to people. You too?
I think I fit the profile. I'm. People are okay. Some people are great.
Yes. Some people are great, but they're few and far between.
Yeah. Yet they surprise you, which is good.
Yeah.
But I like working on things.
Yeah.
So I think I find more satisfaction with the tactile.
Get your hands in there.
The equipment. But yeah. Exactly. So
I'm a puzzle guy. I like puzzles. So like when there's a problem, I gotta like think about it, figure out the way to solve it, and then the tactile stuff is just moving the meat machine to do what I need to do.
The meat machine.
Yeah, that's what we are. We're meat machines. This part is the part that's me, and this is the meat machine that's attached to it.
I'm going to tell my daughter that. Hey, I learned a new term for our bodies: meat machines.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you a pretty blunt question?
Fire, shoot.
Are you running from anything? Don't have to answer.
Yeah. 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 I wasn't the best dad. I wasn't the best dad. I think even in like the first month of being here, I kind of realized like taking this is kind of a getaway from the responsibility of being a parent, because it's a lot. And I miss my kids. And I love them. But yeah, part of me taking this job for 3 years in the deep of space, nothing but 4 degrees Kelvin for hundreds of years between me and any other living soul. I have a hard time with responsibility, I guess. I don't know if that's a blunt answer.
Responsibility or accountability?
Both, maybe. Both. They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have been more present.
How old are your kids?
They're 15 and 17. And I was around, I was there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't around, I wasn't there. So, I mean, my kids are almost your daughter's age. They're still young, though. They still feel young. They don't feel like they're done growing up, and I don't know how much, for good or for ill, I don't know how much of a factor I was in all that.
Yeah. I don't think they ever stop feeling young.
No, even at 18. I mean, it's not that.
Well, I left when she was 18, right?
Oh yeah. How old is she now?
3, 6, 7.5 years afterwards. So what, 25 and a half?
Wow. And she still feels young to you?
She still feels like a baby.
Did they ever stop feeling like a baby? Like your baby?
Not to me. You know, it's weird. I look at her face, and sometimes it's like I see all of her faces. You know,
Hmm.
her face when she was first born, her little toddler face, her little girl face. Um, every stage of development, I can see all of those faces in the face that's there.
That's amazing.
Mm,
Can I tell you something?
yeah,
I don't remember their faces when they were babies. I don't
mm,
know. I just when I think of them, I think of them as they look now or as I last saw them.
right.
And I remember them being babies. I remember they were small, but it's I don't remember it. Like there's a vague memory, there's moments. I get moments that are flashes of like my daughter as a toddler
Mm.
taking like like a can of beans and like treating it like her doll and like putting a hat and dressing it up. So I remember that.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Or I remember my son playing with the water hose outside and
Mm,
just kind of spraying himself in the face and then
mm,
crying about it
mm.
because he was like 2. So I remember that, and when I look at them, I have to like concentrate to summon up these memories of what they used to look like.
So why why weren't you there? Like,
Just caught up in work,
mm, mm,
just caught up in my own navel gazing ways.
mm.
Kind of hoping this. I don't know if this is ridiculous or not, but I'm kind of hoping this trip kind of teaches me to be less selfish.
Mm. Huh? You've got over 2 years to find out.
Yeah,
I don't know what it'll teach you, but it definitely will teach you something.
I'm ready to learn some lessons. I guess I'm ready to
Yeah.
learn some lessons.
When we have the opportunity to sit, to reflect, to spend that time in a I don't know, different cycle, breaking patterns, breaking routines, it's really interesting the stuff that comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say that with a wisdom tone. Oh, the things that come up, and they're not always profound, and they're not always scary. They're interesting. Oh
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing short of interesting coming around here.
yeah, things that you at one point in your life you would have gone, that defines me.
Right.
That that thing defines me. And then you look at it and you go, mm, that's
No,
not me at all.
no. It's not that important.
No, but that's cool, right? Like it's the evolution of things, you know? It's why I love technology so much.
Yeah,
Why I love being out here. Because when I look around the station, I see the generations of technology.
yeah.
There's
It's
still
like strata, geological strata.
yeah, there's still components that were here when this was first built.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
Parts that have never broken,
No,
have never go wrong.
no.
They're in place,
Yep.
doing their thing. They're just there.
There's a thermocouple on the 2nd floor that I have no idea how it works. It looks like it shouldn't work, but it works. It's still
Mm,
going, and as far as I can tell, it's been here since it was put in. This is like an original piece. I'm not touching it. I'm not
is it
touching it.
between level 2 and 5?
Yeah, yeah.
I think all the stations have it.
I mean, that thing was built to last. Whoever built that, hats off.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. You've got something like that that just stands the test of time, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got other things that just in a day.
Oh, they go. Like broken. Now I want to ask you something. This is a thought that's occurred to me. You've done this is your third stint. Have they all been on the same comms?
Mm-mm.
No. So
Mm-mm.
you each one different?
Yep.
Wow. Well, are there big differences between them?
Yes. Out in the Trillion sector, on com, what was it now? 8312.
Okay.
Someone has painted the inside of the station
Uh, what color?
red.
Like crimson red?
Yeah. I I I don't know why. I don't know when. Nobody seems to know who. But the inside, the complete inside, which probably took them the full 3 years.
That's insane.
Red. Mm.
Like, did it make you angry? Like, it's red everywhere.
Because it was my second station, it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thing was, because I assumed I knew what was going to happen, right?
Right.
I'd done this.
Yeah.
So I think I had a little bit of maybe an inflated ego of, meh, I've got this. And I come to, and everything's red. And it did make me angry, but not that it was red. It made me angry that it wasn't my expectation.
Now, was this the same station as the person who said to you, "Don't let it get to you"? Because maybe he was just talking about the paint.
Nah, that was my very first station.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah.
So now the second one, just
all red.
Red, yeah.
It's like living in a womb.
Yeah, or a blood cell.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I had this expectation of, I've been to a station. The stations are pretty much all the same, you know.
Sure.
Some have some, different features because of where they're, placed. But they're pretty much the same. And the fact that it was red threw me.
Yeah. Oh, messed me up.
Huh. But why? Like, a color shouldn't mess you up. And it wasn't the color, it was my expectation.
Yeah.
It was me building myself up to go, I've got this, I've done this will be easy, I've done it once before. And then there's one little change. And I'm thrown into chaos.
I'm going to say that painting the entire inside of that station red is not a little change. That's a big change.
Yeah. But I wonder what that person was going through.
I mean, maybe it's kind of like a Zen garden where it's an activity that you do and it's not the goal of the activity that's the goal. It's not like painting the whole station. It's just the act of doing it is like kind of meditative.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Was it an act of creativity or an act of madness?
I mean, I personally, madness, that sounds bonkers to paint a whole station red. Like, it would drive me crazy. My mood would be affected. I'd probably just start playing a heartbeat over the loudspeaker, the system speakers, and just walk around like you're inside someone's body. Yeah, be like a blood cell.
Yeah. It's interesting though, the line between art and madness.
I think there needs to be a little madness in art. I dabble in writing. Like, that's one of my hobbies, and yeah. I'll write, and that's one of the, again, goals for being here, is to write something while I'm here. Something that I don't know what will come out. Like, so far I've got a blank page, so I'll probably leave it within a blank page as well. But the books that I love to read, they have a madness to them. They have a little bit of confusion. They have a little bit of mystery and whimsy and play. Yeah, yeah. Those are the books that I like.
It's interesting when you look back kind of in history. A lot of great artists, when they were first exploring their work, and it was a new work, it was a different work, they were considered mad. But they were considered mad because they were different, because they weren't following the norm. And we've just done the same thing with the person who painted the station, right? We make the assumption that the person was mad. Maybe the person just liked the color red. Maybe they were just trying something other, but because it's different,
Yeah.
it's outside of our expectation or our norm, we immediately make the assumption the person's mad.
I mean, they must have consumed all of their latex supply to generate the red paint to cover the entire inside of the station. They must have, like, the company was probably like, "Why are we shipping so much latex?"
And yet never asked.
Never asked. And probably they asked, they never got a reply.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Just thought it was, subspace frequencies. They're not just getting the answer.
Well, I mean, that's a project. That's a real project right there.
Or maybe the company is so used to getting odd requests, that people have hobbies, things that they do, and you just don't ask. It's like, okay, that they're asking for latex. Over there, they're asking
Don't
for
question it.
Yeah, just
You don't want to know the answer.
as long as they're happy.
Yeah. The station functional, just let it run.
Uh,
I got a question for you too here.
all right.
All right. Now, I took apart the rehumidifier and recondenser
Mm-hmm.
just to clean it. I put it back together,
Mm-hmm.
and it works.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this piece left over. I don't know how or what. I mean, I feel like this is going to be important at some point, but I don't know where it goes. Like, do you recognize this? Like, does this look familiar?
Turn it over. Look at the back.
Yeah.
Look on the inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay. No, on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now look in the corner flap.
Yeah.
Look very carefully. Do you see a signature?
Oh yeah.
What does it say?
E card.
Mm-hmm.
E card.
Mm-hmm.
Someone
Think back to your instruction manuals. Who wrote the instruction manuals?
Oh, Enrico. It says this is his, so these made these. Oh.
So every station has basically an Easter egg.
This is it?
An irrelevant part that has Enrico's signature.
And no function.
No function. So now that you found it, your job is to hide it somewhere else in the ship.
Oh, to put it back so that the next person finds it and has the same little confusion.
Exactly. But you have to find a place where it looks like it fits.
Right.
And it doesn't interrupt the function.
Right.
So when someone does what you did, where you take apart something, you fix it, you properly put it back together.
Right.
You've got this extra piece that means nothing.
That's devious. That's fiendish. Because I've spent the last 2 days just I almost took it apart again. I almost took the whole thing apart again. I spent a whole day doing that, and then it came out, and I tried to look through the records, and it wasn't showing up in the piece specs, and I was like, so confused.
I was talking to this mechanic 2 weeks ago, and she had a week left on her contract. And she pulls up a piece, and she goes, "Look, they're coming to get me in a week. My first month here, I was pulling apart a capacitor. I put it back together, and I've got this piece. And I can't find where it
Oh
went,
man.
how it goes. For 3 years, I've been trying to figure out what this piece does. I can't figure it out,
The
and
whole time?
they're coming to get me in a week. I can't have a piece not put back into the station.
I mean, that might have been me. I might have been there if you hadn't told me. I would have gone crazy. I probably would have taken that thing apart like 3 or 4 times, maybe even every week until I figured out what was going on.
But
Ah,
gives you something to think about.
all right, all right.
But I love it. For a whole 3 years, she's going around the ship going, "Today, I will find where this thing goes."
That's too funny.
Yeah. But part of the, you know, part of the legacy of it is unless you ask someone,
Yeah, you're never gonna know.
you never know.
Yeah, it's not in the specs, it's not in the blueprints, it's not on the lists. It's I
No.
guess you have to the value of talking to someone else, huh?
Yeah.
And I bet there's people who do find it, and then they're so, like, embarrassed that they never mention it,
Mhm.
and then there's just weighs on them.
Mhm. And I
I
bet,
I have no shame. I would tell you I messed up, no problem.
well, and some of those people probably go, "I've gotta hide it."
Oh,
So
yeah,
they tuck it back somewhere, so without even knowing, they're continuing the game.
and then someone else, yeah,
Because 'Cause you're not gonna leave it lying around the station, because 'cause that'll show up on your report, you think.
yeah, yeah, and
You
you can't put it in the recycler because the mass converter will show the discrepancy will show up.
absolutely. You're not gonna take it into your cryopod.
No.
So what do you do with it? You hide it back. It's like the perfect ongoing joke.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, hats off once again. That's a great one. Man, well, I'm glad I asked you. I'm glad I asked you because that would have been like a burr in my side for I don't know how long.
Um, now you get now you get to figure out how to leave the present for someone else.
Yeah, yeah, I'll figure that out. No, I'll I have a couple ideas brewing already. Next time I have to take something apart, oh, maybe when I do my flush, let's see if I can stick it back in there.
So what
And
present are you gonna leave your kids?
then
What do you want them to think about you, when your time comes and maybe you don't have time to make the choices and decisions to influence that outcome? What do you want their memory of you to be? What's your hidden piece of equipment that you're going to put into their matrix?
I mean, I've always tried to encourage them to not always take the safe route.
And yet you run.
I run, yeah. I like so many parents, I just do what I say, not what I do. It's
Mm. Now, you don't get to use the plural on that. You don't get to hide in what other people do.
no. I mean, that would be my wish then. That would be my wish is that they don't always take the safe route, unlike me.
So, what are you going to do about it?
I'll talk to them. I'm gonna try and talk to them. Like kind of like when I moved out, it got better with my dad. Now that I'm here, like the messages with my kids have gotten better.
Mm.
Like they seem more receptive to I mean, maybe they just like know that I'm like they like that I'm in the deep of space, that know that uh my physical distance now matches my distance as a parent. But I feel like it's coming close. I feel like I don't know. We'll see how it evolves, but I'm gonna write them. I'm gonna send them videos and chat with
I'm
them.
gonna, I'm gonna say something here because these intercoms, we're probably not going to cross paths again.
No, system's not gonna match us up again.
No. Even now, when I ask you the question, you're filling with a lot of maybes. They seem more receptive. I'm going to try. Maybe. You're still avoiding that responsibility and accountability. You know, you can run out into space. You can hide in a station. You can make all sorts of claims about loneliness, the time it takes for transmissions. But at the end of the day, that's all bullshit. You've got all the pieces you need. You've got all the equipment you need. The only thing you need is you need to commit to it. And until you make the commitment to the kids and to yourself, that relationship isn't going to change. You're going to fill it with a lot of, it could have been, and maybe, and if only I had. And maybe that's the life you want. Hey, you get to choose. But you strike me as a really good guy. And you strike me as someone who has a lot to offer those kids.
I want to do good.
Then do it.
I'll do it. Yeah, you've been very helpful. Thank you, Cass. This is probably, I mean, I've only done, this is my second one. The last person just wanted a status update and was very by the book. So this has been way better. Maybe it's your little green bottle that's been helping out.
Sorry and brandy?
Yeah.
Look, we get one life like we get one chance to chat.
Yeah.
Why hold back on what you're going to say? Why hold back on what you're going to do?
Wow. Well, I hope, are you going to sign up for a fourth one?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I think I'm ready to try being with people again. Maybe, well, my daughter's expecting, so
congrats.
Yeah, I want to be there for that. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a new chapter ahead for me.
I mean, grandparent.
Yeah.
That's a role. That's a job you can take.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a 3-year contract.
No, it's got a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
I think these tours have taught me a lot about being present. Just being in the moment. Being honest in the moment. Looking at the good bits. Looking at the chunky bits with the same weight, same value. And I think I've learned a lot about myself. And maybe now I feel I've got more to share.
You probably did before, but somehow we don't, until we get that awareness of it, we don't feel comfortable sharing it.
Yeah.
I bet you do great. I bet you do great.
You know, loneliness can be a great offer. Loneliness can be a great opportunity. If you find yourself, when you start animating your tools back, maybe you are going a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
But like the great artists, madness and creativity are hand in hand. Maybe enjoy the puppet show. Just don't take it too seriously.
Well, time's winding down here.
Oh, yep. We got the alert.
Yeah, zero's flashing at me to start winding things down.
Hey, look, if you ever start feeling like you're going stir crazy, reach out. I mean, we've got these mandatory things, but there's other lines of communication.
Okay.
You know?
Thanks, Kat.
Send me a message saying, I can't figure out where the transflux goes. And I'll know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this has been very helpful. Thanks so much. Yeah, you didn't have to be as kind as you were, and I appreciate that.
We're all in it together.
Yeah, we are all in, like this stupid network array. We're all intertwined, huh?
We're all connected. We're all
We're all
only alone.
connected.
We might feel like a tiny little part, completely alone, but we're all connected.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care. Hello, everybody. This is Vinny.
I'm
Hi,
Patti.
Patti.
Now I'm Patti.
We did it. It's us now.
The magic of theater.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who watched that, joined us for this live stream. Hope it worked out tech-wise. I hope the stream looked and sounded okay. That was great playing with you, Patti.
You almost called me Cass.
Yeah, I did.
Do you know where the name came from?
No, tell me.
Battlestar Galactica.
Perfect. Well, I'm probably going to be doing a bunch of these, so I figured it's best to use my regular name.
So you don't get confused.
Yes, I don't get confused. I'm going to have to remember. I mean, that's why I do improv. I don't remember stuff.
I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really lovely. Patti works out of Melbourne, Australia. We met ages ago. You came to Montreal. We did a wonderful show together. So when I started this project, Patti was tops on my list to come do this with me. Do you have anything you want to say, Patti, to everybody who might be watching still?
For all the improvisers out there, improvising on live stream is really interesting. It fine-tunes certain offers and reduces other offers. Yeah, it's an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
It runs the risk of falling into a lot of gossip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of what you're doing is conversation. So finding the opportunity to advance the gossip into something that has power or point, to advance the dialogue into something that the audience can hook into is a cool challenge.
Yeah, it's interesting to kind of like avoid circling things, but then getting to things.
Yeah, reincorporation is good, but the circling without. Also, when you're doing it within a theme, right? So we've got the setup of the characters and their world, and then the theme of loneliness, which you wanted to explore. It's great because it gives you points to come back to, but it also stops like the endless progression forward.
Right.
You know, and both are useful. Like you can definitely do something where it's free form, off you go. But then you run into the trap of endless gossip with no point and just, topping and one-upping each other. Where with this, you've got the theme that you're trying to bring it back to some sort of point or keep that point relevant, which is very cool.
That was a pleasure. I had a great time, Patti. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to say thank you to the National Arts Council and Facebook Canada. We got a lovely little grant. Check out Canada Performs if you're a performer and you have a streaming show. Right before they're giving out grants to any show, well, that meets their criteria, whatever that may be, just streaming before March 30th. So I strongly recommend you just look up Canada Performs and you'll find them. You can also join us next week where I'm probably going to be doing this again. Well, I am going to do this again. What's going to happen is I'll say Bruno from San Francisco, one of the co-founders of the Black and Funny Improv Festival, will be joining me as my guest. So you can subscribe to this channel to stay notified, or just keep an eye out for this on Facebook or wherever I am. I'm Vinny François on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram, so you can find me there. Any last words, Patti?
thank you all for watching, wherever you are out there in space. And yeah, the theme loneliness, it's very relevant right now.
Yeah.
But we can all stay connected. We can all contribute to each other, and which I happen to say as my character, but I'm kind of using a little bit as a mantra right now. We can take the new reality and make it an offer, not a block.
Yeah.
It's challenging, sure. There's a lot of high emotions, absolutely. But we do have options, and one of those options is staying connected as a community. So let's work on that. And thank you for the opportunity to do this. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, that's it for us tonight. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Good night.